Welcome, Wargamers. Join your hosts, Balko and Monty, two Canadian wargaming enthusiasts, as we explore all aspects of tabletop wargaming. We roll dice, talk tactics, share hobby hacks, and explore new tabletop systems, all on the Trident Wargaming Podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Trident Wargaming. I'm your host Andy, and here today joined with Jason once more. How's it going, Jason?
Hello!
Good one. We were just off air there. We were kind of joking around with volume and whatnot, and Grand Theft Auto came up, so we're kind of a little goofy right now. But back to the episode. Yeah, today's going to be just one of those episodes where we're talking about kind of going through the motions of maybe doing a campaign and prepping for campaign mode for your local community, or group buddies, and even events. So, but first, let's go to the front line in the hobby war. What's on your table, Jason?
So many boxes of unpainted miniatures.
No.
Yeah. I have had a dead desk loaded with gray plastic this last little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. School's out, so I'm sure you're busy with that.
Yeah.
Right,
the
kids
Rugrats and whatnot.
And summer is our summer or rain season so far. So yeah, kind of a lot of little things going on. Busy, I'm assuming. Just just busy. A bit of a hobby lull, but I think it's gonna pick up here in the next week or so. Nice. Yeah.
How about you, sir?
Not much different on actually a lot different on my end, but a little bit of hobbying here and there for other systems. One of the other systems kind of just came out a couple weeks ago, Horse Heresy, as you know. If you're listening to our podcast from previous episodes. So working on one of those projects, another love of mine as well. Still working on just whatever I have on the table for bolt action, which is probably my Germans who have been sitting there for a while. They got to kind of get pushed aside, but got to make a big effort rest of this year to just get stuff done. So with just, again, busy season, summertime, work, all that stuff. And then we just came back from Victoria not too long ago, out of another tournament, so that was fun. Otherwise, just kind of plans within plans, which we'll talk about as well in this episode, about things I want to kind of do and explore and get done for bolt action, amongst the other bolt action kind of World War II-esque games, Victory at Sea, Blood Red Skies, that kind of stuff, right?
Excellent.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. No local tournaments of sorts I've heard of or even seen or even come up with yet for next couple months or so. But our Stalingrad campaign is closely coming to an end, I can see.
You have no faith in my abilities, Andy.
So far of our last round, 3 of the 4 games have been complete, and the Germans have pretty much won 3 of the 4 battles.
Because this is the thing too, in this campaign, we just need to hold on to one territory and keep eking out those victory points
in
order to win. The Germans have to snuff us out completely.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I can just barely hold on, and by the way, I have no faith. We're We are hooped. There's no way I'm winning this one. But if we can hold on, we can fight back. We just have to keep grinding
scoring
and
points and
scoring those
surviving.
victory points.
Yeah, all we need.
What do we need? 70 or something.
Yeah, we need 70, and I think
we're at like 20 probably.
No, we're more. I'm pretty sure we're more than 20. We're just not on the last leg of the stretch of the columns, right?
Yeah.
Or the rows, I should say. The Germans have already blown us out of the water with victory points, so they've already unlocked their last VP tracker bonus, which is ties. Any ties for games is actually a victory for the German side, so that helps them, right?
Oh no.
Yeah, and then for us, we're kind of on the last stretch, so probably. I mean, this round we didn't score too bad, but if Jason survives and we go on, the players need to try to really score max points to really catch up. So probably looking at if we can make it 2 more rounds, right? Then possibly we can pull a defensive victory on the Stalingrad campaign. So, but it should be an interesting game, and see where it happens. And either way, it'll be pretty cool to see. This really was our first time with a campaign for the group, the local group. So it was pretty cool to see how it kind of turned out, and what kind of interest there was for it. So excited to see what happens and results. And I have a couple little giveaways to give out as well. So for our local community, that is. Just I've acquired some little prizes through the store and Warlor Games, so it'll be good. It'll be good to just have everybody kind of enjoy, right? So
sweet.
So and going forward with that, that brings us pretty much to our main topic of the night, is getting kind of ideas and getting the motion of like prepping and whatnot for another campaign that I've had in my head, and me and Jason have talked about this continuous times. But I really, really, really like to do a Normandy, D-day landing kind of ongoing, longer campaign with a bit of a map system, which is great because the Combined Arms that just came out helped a lot with that. And I'm sure me and Jason are going to try a little map kind of thing, battle with it to see how it kind of plays out, test the waters out first. Multiple different games, I know Jason's gotten into Blood Red Skies a fair bit there with his son, so be nice to see how it affects and how it is in the game and how things actually work out compared to just on paper, right? So
yeah, totally.
But going forward with that, I'm pretty much gonna call it Project Normandy. So my whole thing, instead of just kicking it off and letting it go and just using stuff that we kind of have at the moment, the way I'm looking at it is essentially the way I want to kick it off is I want to do like the actual D-day landing, right? Have some of the beaches and whatnot that the forces have landed on, and open it up, kick it off as an event, right? Be it at the store or be it at a hall or one of our Trident events that we plan to do this year, and just get that kind of stuff ready. So in saying that, there's going to be a lot of terrain that needs to be built, right? Custom terrain that you're not going to have at your everyday store. So, so the one thing is the, you know, the beachheads, you know, the landings. I've seen a lot of pictures online, been kind of, you know, checking out what was there. I have a whole bunch of 3D printed STL files for bunkers, and I know you can also make some and stuff, right? But just planning it out, getting a game plan going so that I can actually commit and start building and have a process, you know. Because I know you, Jason, I know you ended up working pretty hardcore on tables for a bit of our Stalingrad battles that we've been doing.
Yep.
You know, and like, you know, going through that, like yourself, you just kind of picked up and went for it and did it, right?
Yeah, just like 20 days or something like that. Just a little bit every day, couple
Yeah.
days with a couple hours, and then a little bit here and there. A lot of it's waiting for shit to dry, honestly. you know,
Yeah, I'm
so,
assuming there's gonna be a lot of that.
and it's like space is the biggest, and having your crap everywhere is the biggest pain in the butt, honestly.
Right. Yeah.
The work isn't so bad. It's walking around all the buckets of crap you have, for a couple of weeks living with it.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing with this this campaign. This idea is like we've busted out the hexed map that Leanne has gotten for me through Red Claw. There, it's from another game. I don't have it beside me, but it's from another game, and it really works perfectly with combined arms. The way they have their hex system set up, right? So that works quite well, and going through the map itself and whatnot, and you have your different kind of terrain and where your battles are going to be and stuff like that, but having your armies on those hexes and moving them around and then actually engaging each other, it'd be nice to have that specific terrain for those battles. So Bocage country, right? Like we've talked about this before, where it's like, yeah, I did a prototype of a piece of Bocage. What I really need to do is like try to do one every couple days. Just do one, get it to a state. Okay, get these all to the paint state or whatever, that kind of thing. So we can have that terrain, because I want to have those battles, right? I want the tables to look really, really good, and then when it's all said and done, next thing you know, okay, well, we have another table that we can use. We have a little village with the cottage, stuff.
And I think that's the best way to attack it too, is to, okay, we want a bocage scene. What do we need to make a 6 foot by 4 foot bocage scene?
Yeah.
Or table, right? And then plan that and execute that before we start. Well, we need bunkers. We need, don't get distracted. We need to, like, that's my biggest problem, is I'm like, squirrel.
I hear you. And
so we got a 6 by 4. Imagine what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Build it, and don't worry about it. Don't do the city. Don't do the beach. Don't do the Pegasus Bridge. We don't, not yet.
Yeah.
The bocage, and then the beach, and then the airfield or whatever.
Yeah, see, and that's where I get caught in that trap.
Yeah, that's right? My nemesis as well.
Because like the other day, I had 3D printed out a couple of my files, and so I started printing out this crater. So I ended up printing out a second crater, right, the next day kind of thing. And then I start looking through my files, and I have an enormous amount of 3D files for World War II. And it's like, oh, okay, you know what? I'm going to print this bunker. So I start printing the base of the bunker. And then I started printing the top of the bunker. And they came out really, really nice. And really flush as well compared to my first one I printed. But then I start going and I look at, Normandy houses and stuff like that. So I'm like all over the place in a sense, right? I'm just like, oh, okay, stop. So it's definitely, and I know Dusty has said this before, when it comes to doing terrain for events or tournaments or something, is get yourself an idea, get yourself a game planned for a table, right? And just like you just said now, right? So that's the step I gotta take, right? And initially, again, like I said, initially the whole idea of this would be to roll it out as a large community event of the landings, right? D-Day. Have that happen, and then you would have another battle where it's the airborne that's dropping, right? And these airborne battles would actually be probably prior to the landings. And then you could actually intermix results of what happens. So if the Allies win, there'd be some kind of bonus that happens during the landings, right? And if the Germans win, it'd be the other way around kind of thing. But regardless, the D-Day landings, regardless who won on that side, the Allies would push in just so that you can kick off your campaign, right?
Yeah, I mean, you just imagine you lose. You're doing that event, and the Allies lose terribly. They just get their teeth kicked in. But you didn't play the second and third waves. You just did the first wave, baby. The first wave failed. The second and third wave that you didn't play went off without a hitch.
Yeah, no, exactly. You can spin it in so many different ways.
Yeah, totally.
Which is great, because it makes for... Stuff like this will make for great moments for your community. It'll keep them interested, and it'll keep yourself, interested or from getting burnt out kind of thing, right? But it's always been that dream for me to do this kind of stuff for a community and have people just enjoy it and not relive, but replay just the scenarios. Like, you can see online, the terrain tutor, he's made this glorified, really nice, beautiful looking table for D-Day landings, and it's just like, I want to replicate that and actually have it into effect in a game. So in saying that, you got to do a little bit of work, right?
Yeah.
You've obviously got to build the table, but you've got to build it in a way that it's actually going to be functional, right? Because, like, it might look pretty, it might look great, it might look awesome, real super detail, but it's difficult to play with, difficult to play on,
Storage.
So, well, there's that too.
Like, are you going to build this amazing table that either it just lives on your gaming table, you don't get to change it, but it's safe,
Yeah,
or you try to store it, it gets chipped and broken and cracked and spider webs up in it, and
Yeah.
all the water effects start to yellow and
yeah,
all that kind of so you really do have to consider how you're going to store it. How heavy is it?
yeah, exactly. And
Things
the nice
things like that.
the nice thing is, definitely with those ideas in mind, the nice thing is, like, I've been already kind of collecting material for it. A lot of the insulation, kind of like pink and blue foam that I've gotten from work, luckily enough to get stuff like that. Just stuff that's being discarded. It's like, oh, I can use that for something, Bought myself the hot wire foam cutter, like a bandsaw kind of thing that you can use. But just collecting materials, collecting stuff that you can use for bocage, stuff that you can use for buildings or, craters, stuff like that, doing the research. So I think with that not only goes for doing up, campaigns, but definitely going tournament wise, right? Like yourself and Dusty, you've kind of done, one or two tournaments, and having 12 different tables is no small feat, especially for bolt action, right? There's always the option of the MDF buildings and terrain, which are great. They're awesome, sometimes fragile, but and of course it's going to cost you. So it's a lot of game planning. It's a lot of okay, when am I going to get the stuff? How am I going to get it built, painted, all that? And I know that's happening right now, because I know Bill is planning to do a large event for 40K, and that's what's happening. Like, we're getting all his terrain built, which he has, like, he's got a boatload. But now it's like, okay, got a couple guys who helped assemble. Now it's paint time, so it's like, let's get stuff done. It's no different with bolt action, right? And like, I still have MDF stuff to build, as you know, Jason.
Yeah. I'm in that boat too, man.
So
I still have probably about a third of all those Stalingrad apartments left to build.
Oh wow. Wow, that's a fair bit still, but they look great. Like,
yeah, they worked out pretty good.
Yeah, they did. But and what's funny is looking at some of those buildings, and I say to myself, you know what? I can build that from scratch. I can try building that from scratch.
Yeah.
And it looks great, and I've seen guys make stuff like that, and they make it look great, but how much time is going to be put into that? How much time do you have to put into it?
Yeah, if you're making it from scratch as compared to these MDF kits, it's probably a 5 times multiplier on time, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at least. And with the MDF stuff, pretty low likelihood that I screw it up so bad that I can't use it.
Mm.
Whereas there's a 50-50 chance when I'm making it from scratch that I bung it up so bad I can't use it. I have a 5% with the MDF, I break something, or I have a 25 to 50% chance, that I just screw it up, or I waste a lot of time, or
No, for sure.
Somebody's already tested. These MDF kits are usually, they've already tested them. They've put them together. Lots of other people have given feedback.
Yeah.
By the time you get it in your hands, somebody's built it 100 times.
Yeah, that's true.
So there is a reliability there, especially if you have a time crunch. But then again, for $5, I could probably build, a $50 building. A $50 MDF building I could build for $5.
Yeah.
But I'd need 5 times the time to build it,
Yep. Oh,
so
100%.
Certainly things to consider.
Totally agree with you on that. 100%. But that's the building phase kind of thing of the idea of Project Normandy. So again, I got stuff written down and stuff kind of drawn out, and a couple of things I've printed off and posted on my board kind of thing of for ideas, which is great prep for keeping that kind of fresh in your mind of, oh yeah, that's what I was thinking about, right? The second part of it is going to be the organization of the actual campaign itself. So in saying that, there's, combined arms looks like it's going to be a great system. But we definitely need to do a small little playthrough or mock battles kind of thing, to see the effects, or to see, if there's going to be any little problems that come up into a larger campaign with multiple people, right? Like, are you're using all the systems, or you're not all using the systems, or you're using partial systems, come ground combat. Are you gonna be able to have those tank war battles, or are you gonna allow guys to use that full mechanized army against a regular bolt action army? That's kind of oof. I don't know about that. Are you gonna make, like, you got to think about missions as well? Like, they suggest that you do all the generic missions, right? Use the generic missions for your battles, which is great if you want to go that route. But I'm sure you've played those generic missions inside and out.
Yeah.
Right? Or do you take a bit more time and design your own missions for certain sections of the map, right?
Yeah. Well, here's what I think, Andy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that for Normandy, we're lucky enough to have 5 supplements.
Yes.
Right? Is there 5? There's at least 4. There's 3 new ones.
Yeah, I can't remember the.
Plus, there's 1
amount.
or 2 older ones. Right? So anyway, there's probably 100 scenarios.
Yeah, that's true. That's very
and
true.
really, if you break the scenarios down, they're all pretty much variants of those 12 basic scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
They just have something to differentiate a little bit, or to make it, fit the theme or the idea or the battle that they're trying to replicate. But
Right.
really, if you look at just the basic requirements of what's in that scenario, it's some offshoot of one of those 12. So really, it shouldn't be too much to go through and take those scenarios and those ideas and the stories and set them to roughly be a little more generic, so that they're not specifically tied to the armies listed in the original, and I think we can do that, especially with this, where we have so many to choose from. So I think we could go through and make a list. So you're playing in forest. Great. Roll on this chart, the forest chart.
Yeah.
Just as an example, I don't know if there's a forest chart, but make up 6 scenarios or 3 scenarios, whatever. That's the battle you're playing. Boom. Oh, you're in a small to medium-sized town. Boom. Here's your scenario. You're at a crossroads. Boom. Scenario, or a list.
No, for sure, and that's a good way of planning it. That's a good way of throwing it out there, and just prep. That's the prep, right? That's where you're gonna take some time for prep. And just by doing this campaign that we're doing right now, which it's not the same idea, like it's not the same kind of system as what I kind of want to do. But it does give me the insight of, okay, you know what? I'm looking at time frame. I'm looking at, okay, how much time do players got to play? I'm looking at, okay, the missions. Do we got to tweak the missions? Do we got to tweak the points? And that was kind of the whole reason behind our tweaking of the points, is like, okay, we want these games to actually finish, right? And the funny thing is, as cool it is, guys are coming out on the Wednesday nights and playing within their, the time that we got to play there. guys can play at any time, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't. You don't have to always be, So I mean, if you want to play the full battle with the scenario with the full amount of points, and it's going to take you 6 hours, then all the power to you. But
Maybe
you know,
maybe that's a. Oh, sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
no,
Maybe that's the thing we do is that we have each scenario. We have this is what the real, full daddy scenario is. This is what the baby scenario is. This is
yeah,
the, and just have it premeditated, planned out for
yeah,
people. Like, oh, I can only play at the store. That's great. Fine. We know you have a 3-hour window to play your game in. So
yeah,
here, the games are this many points.
yeah, and that's the other thing too with the one thing that we've learned about this too is because we wanted everybody to be involved in our current campaign is we've allowed you know anybody who's playing on the Axis side who doesn't have Germans to play, and then same thing with on the Soviet side. If you don't have Soviets but you have allies, you can use those allies. So you kind of been put to, okay, you can use a reinforced platoon, or you can actually go and use the theater selectors that they're saying to use in the campaign books. And it makes a big difference. Like, it really does make a big difference, especially when it comes to the missions, because there's unique missions and unique things that happen or are requested, or special units that you can use in these missions. So the tweaking of that comes down to your game master, which myself, Jason, right? But come this other campaign, I would really, really strive to have people actually play as those nations, right? This way you could stick to those missions in a sense and not have to do too much tweaking to them, except for maybe point levels.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm pretty sure there's enough. I mean, guys who are playing Germans, they usually have a fairly large selection of miniatures. And then, the ally side, well, there's a whole bunch of different armies that people can use. So, and that would be my hope, is we be able to do that. We might not be able to, and we'll figure that out as time comes. But there's that. There's do you put any kind of limitations, right? Is there limitations that you want? I don't like putting limitations on any kind of game.
All I know is that no White Scars bikes.
Yeah. Okay. Different limitations. Yeah. Yeah, I'm coming in with a 30k, 40k force against my bolt action. What? Yeah, that's a good one. Caught me off guard on that. Luckily enough, I play that army. So, but yeah, like I've seen it in the past, and I've actually seen it. I've seen it in for the last couple of years now. There's been some in like some large out of country events, and there's limitations, and I really don't like that, because essentially this doing the kind of campaign idea like this, like there will be a cost for players, of course, and that's due to one, the work of doing and organizing everything, but two, and the more important part of it, is to create a to help out with the prize pool, right? Mm-hmm. And it wouldn't be a first place podium kind of finish thing. It would be more of a event kind of thing, walk away with some swag, and then have some prizes and stuff from either prize pool or or stuff that I can get, right? So I always like to have a big, door prize, just so that everybody has a chance at getting it. And usually that's something that I will, donate to the cause kind of thing. But yeah, the prep, like army prep, decide how many players you want, how many you're going to be able to manage. We have 8 players in this campaign, it's pretty decent to manage. I mean, I've managed more than that. I think I've had 14 or something like that before in another campaign that I did online. So it's not bad managing it and trying to just kind of keep everybody on par and on the same page. But communication is huge, right? Having last minute stuff happen really sucks. I know that. We've had some experiences with that, but it does happen. But being prepped for, and this works for any system, any game, any system. If you're planning a campaign or you're planning an event, communication is the key. Keep the hype going, get stuff prepped, try to be ready. And especially when it comes to forces, especially when it comes to, to armies and the missions, especially, and any conditions and stuff like that. Because, I mean, you look at it and it's like you have this idea, as an example, the airborne drop that I've mentioned before. The idea is the airborne drop happens, and the mission is for the airborne, let's say the American airborne, for example, the mission is to take out these large guns against the German forces. So again, that's a specific mission that they actually might have a mission for in the campaign books.
I think they do.
Right. So you're looking that up. And if that fits the theme, then half of your work is done.
Yeah.
Right. If they don't, you got to come up with kind of a balanced mission for that. So there's a little bit of play testing. You know what I mean? So, so we have experience doing that. Like, I've done it a bit with some of the other systems. So that kind of prep and having it where it works really, really good. People enjoy playing it. There's a theme to it. And that's what most of these battles will be. That's what all these events would be, is theme.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's a very important part of the gaming scene, especially for campaigns. And on top of all that, having painted minis would be great. I know it's possible. And it makes the games a lot better.
Yeah.
It's just commitment. It's that commitment to the game and to playing and how much you want to put into it. And then, of course, tons and tons and tons of pictures to promote on your pages, to promote in the community, to show that, these guys have actually cared and actually have put some effort and have done something great. Because,
at the end of the day, really, we all want our hobby to grow.
Yes.
Just selfishly, we want to play against more people.
Yes.
Right? We want to find new buddies and pals to play against. And all of that, what you were just talking about, helps accomplish that, right? It's like if you show up at a party and there's only 3 people at that party, you're not going to stay that long.
True.
But if you go to a party and there's a whole bunch of people and they're all having fun, you might stick it out. And even better, if you've seen pictures of the party going on your whatever the kids are using on their Facegram or Tic Tacs or whatever they got.
Making us sound super old, Jason.
Oh yeah, I know. Jeez. If people see that going on, they might want to try it. You might get more people to play in your community to have better events, bigger events, more people to play against, pals to hang out with,
Yeah.
So I really think that all of this campaign and basically the whole subject really should just be how to get more, folks play a game with you. How to make friends in 10 easy steps.
That's a good one. Yeah, no, it's there's a lot to consider, right? A lot to ideas to come up with, a lot of stuff to think about, especially, especially if you do have some new players who have interest as well, because you don't want players to come out and get blown off the table and then just get the bad feels kind of thing going, right? You don't want that for sure. And believe me, if you guys come and play me or Jason, you won't get that. You'll kick our asses.
Yeah.
But
I have a solid 50-50 record.
Exactly.
I'm happy with it.
Exactly. And then just overall with the ideas and the feedback, and that's another big thing, is feedback from players as well. Pictures, promoting stuff, getting stuff painted. You can have community projects where you can do a slow grow and still do a campaign, right?
Yeah.
You can have small battles to help guys actually build up their forces, learn the game, and even paint stuff up, have painting nights, right?
Why not an escalation for the campaign?
Yeah,
or even
exactly.
those big events, to kick it off. If you're doing a mega battle style battle to kick off the event, you don't want people to bring a whole army anyway. You want guys to bring, 2 squads and an officer or a tank and whatever, right? So, so that's a great way to. Almost anybody can get a squad of guys done, or a tank or 2 done. That's not a huge commitment, and that's something that it's important to think about too. Is like your and my commitment might be different than theirs.
True.
Like our campaign that we're going through, I love the asymmetrical battles. I love that some of them aren't equal exactly.
Yeah.
Right? But in a more general setting, that doesn't always work.
Yeah.
So some people don't. I mean, they want to play checkers, and that's cool. And also new guys, like you said, you don't want to blow them out of the water. And,
well, exactly, right. Like
and yeah, I understand that guys don't want to paint basically half of a new army just to use for one scenario because they're not dumb like us. That's cool. I get it.
No, for sure. For sure. There's a lot to take in, with all that, but even planning, maybe planning the first, really the first section of it is, where to start, and like having those ideas of the missions, and not only that, but any of the effects of the battles that will affect other battles to integrate the success and failures of the forces, in these battles that will affect other matches.
Yeah.
In a sense, you would do stuff like that where it wouldn't be something that would, be really critical and completely turn the tide of the battle for one player. It would just be something that would overall kind of happen and impact the game, but not in a sense where it's just going to be, this is bullshit because he won because of it, But essentially, that's not what it should be about, anyways. It's just, yes, you know what, you are going to play to win the game and whatnot, which I applaud, and I enjoy that a little bit of competition. But at the same time, you're not coming out to be a dink and
Yeah.
um, to just make sure you come out and play and give it a good go and have fun, and you want those close battles with your your battle buddies and stuff, and community members, have those close battles, learn stuff in your games, and get better experience and whatnot, right? And new ideas. And that's what a lot of this is about, is just new ideas as well, right? So
Here's a big thing too. The only bad campaign that you'll do is the one that you never get off the paper,
true.
right? So I think the biggest thing, but from prep, is to actually plan on following through. And don't be afraid that, maybe it's not perfect, because it won't be. And you can plan for 20 years and you'll never have the perfect campaign.
And something will come up. Yep.
But any campaign is better than no campaign.
Yeah.
Or any event is better than no event. Even if it's not perfect. Just friggin' do it. Come up with a plan, right? Do your terrain, do your models, and execute the plan.
Yeah.
Get her done. 'Cause there's nothing sadder than looking at your book of ideas and noticing that you never fulfilled any of them.
And that's just it. Like, and that was one of the things that was in my head and thinking about doing this episode with you about it, is the fact, like, I'm calling it, Project Normandy, and I want to get started and get going on terrain for it, and actually, like, take pictures of progress and put it on our Facebook and put it on the Instagram, and maybe do a little write-up on it, like a little blog, to kind of show people where I'm at, what stages I'm at, and that kind of stuff. So this is kind of a challenge, almost like a challenge episode, right? So it'll get the fire started and kick my ass for for doing it, because I found that when it comes to really giving it and getting stuff done, there's kind of a deadline. There's usually a deadline, like challenges, group challenges and local community challenges that myself and Bill have done in the previous year. Like, we got a lot of stuff painted from a lot of different systems, and they weren't all just huge armies, but it was a lot of different systems, and it's because we had a challenge, we had a deadline. We also had a lot of time because of COVID and stuff, but even now, like, yes, I've been painting stuff, but I haven't really completed stuff, except for the beginning of the year with my white scars for the other army or the other game. So in saying that, it's kind of like, okay, well, I need to step on my game and I need to make a challenge and get stuff rolling and get stuff done, right? I have the materials, I have the ideas, I have the backup, I have the support, let's get her done, right? I want to see, my idea is to be the bolt action crew Western Canada, right? I want to have pictures of events that we do here, and maybe have people interested in doing it, interested in coming, having tournaments, having events where people from out of town are coming in. That's what I've talked to Bill with this a lot, and that is one of our big things, is when we start doing like Trident events, is we want to make it the best that we can make it for the communities and the players. And a lot of people know us in the communities, and they know that we're determined to do it. So, because really, there's not really any other bolt action really going, I don't think. So have an opportunity here to really be a powerhouse for doing that and being, the guys that play that game. They've got great setups, right? So it'd be really, at least that's my idea. That's my goal.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, and it's nice because I know it's not just me, because there is a lot of support behind, from the community and also from my friends and partners, kind of thing. I know, Jason, you're always behind supporting events, and Bill's behind it as well. And it's nice because, and Dusty as well, because it's nice because there's different ways of looking at the ideas of doing events, and there's always feedback and there's always chatter between us that makes it for a very healthy and great community to work with. So yeah,
Nice. That's why one thing too, for maybe people that aren't part of the local area, is that if it's too much for you to do by yourself, to plan or to do terrain for 6 tables or whatever, have somebody sponsor a table, aka, hey, I need 6 tables. I can do 2 myself. We can do a really cool tournament. But if I can get 4 other guys to do a table each, a lot of people would love the chance to show up and have some prize or something for fun. Have the people vote on the best table or whatever. But there's other ways. You don't always have to do it yourself. There is a community probably where you are. Even if it's just your battle buddy. And
100%.
But yeah,
100%. And you never know. Maybe one of these times might be able to partake, or even just go check out some events, across the country, or out of the country, mainly in the States. It'd be nice to see some of that stuff as well. I know LVO has the event going for next year, and a couple of the guys from the local community are going to it. I myself will probably stop in and say hey and check it out and take pictures and talk to the community leaders and stuff there as well. And then we also have nice thing is we have another group in Calgary, just south of us, in the same province here. They have a bolt action community that's happening down there, so 3-hour drive away, which you never know. Things can happen where we kind of collaborate and actually come up with stuff and maybe have some rivalries,
Ooh. like superhero groups?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go. Some superhero World War II groups. The Flying Aces or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, no, overall, that's kind of what this episode really was about, is just campaigning for campaigns, just getting ideas out there, commitments, and of course, my idea of the Project Normandy and my kind of challenge to do that. But yeah, spitting out some ideas, and I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. If you guys have links or ideas of stuff that you have done in the past, or that you've partaked in or joined in, it'd be great to see a lot of that stuff. So please, chime in and make some posts, drop some links, that kind of thing. If you got pictures, please, if you're on Instagram, hashtag Tridentwargaming, or even just on Facebook, just post those pictures. Or if you want to messenger us with pictures and drop Andy a line, I love to check that stuff out. I love looking at that. It gives me such inspiration and ideas for stuff that I want to do, right? So That's one of the things too with this kind of idea for campaigns and whatnot, is making that collection of terrain. Having that terrain, not only does it apply to your campaign and whatnot, but after everything's said and done, now you have an inventory of terrain that you can use for more games. You mix it up, and you'll have a wonderful collection that people will just love to play on. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of where I'm at for that. Anything else for yourself, Jason?
No, I think that's it, really. And like I said, really the most important thing is just friggin' do it.
Friggin' do it. That's gonna be the title.
Friggin' do it. Get her done. You gotta give her, bud.
Yeah, there you go. Let her rip. Yeah. Well, right on. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll have a few more episodes going on the next probably few weeks to a month. Try to get some more tactical talk and stuff like that for Bolt Action. Me and Jason are going to try to get together for some more of our Stalingrad battles. We got a couple games coming up for that too. Plus more Blood Red Skies, I would say.
Yeah.
Get some more of those battles in, talk a little bit more about the game there as well. And then, yeah, we just continue on from there. I know I've mentioned, we mentioned some Victory at Sea and whatnot as well. It's been a while since we played, but it'd be nice to get the rust off of that, and we can start chatting about that stuff too, right? So, but again, thanks everybody for joining in. Thanks, Jason, for coming on again.
No problem.
And, hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Cheerio.
Trident Wargaming. Build it, paint it, play it.